Welcome to Craving the Heat, where desire takes the lead and every story leaves you wanting more. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments and keep up with our latest naughty stories. Lena had always been a woman of routine, someone who liked to stay in control. She was a successful property manager, balancing work, home life, and her friendships with Grace. She'd been living alone for a few years after a long relationship had ended, and while the solitude was sometimes comforting, there was an unspoken yearning inside her, a desire for something more. Something she had long forgotten. Passion. It had been weeks since she'd seen him. Her tenant, Adam, had been living in the upstairs apartment of her duplex for a few months now. She had always been professional, ensuring everything in the building was in good condition and keeping a clear line between personal and professional life. But lately, something had changed between them. The way he looked at her sometimes made her heart skip a beat. And while she tried to dismiss it, there were moments when the chemistry between them was undeniable. It was a late afternoon when the tension between them finally erupted. Adam had called earlier in the day about a problem with the plumbing in the bathroom, and she'd agreed to come by to check it out. By the time she arrived, the sun was beginning to set, casting a golden hue across the room. She knocked lightly on the door and walked in, expecting to find him fixing something in the bathroom. Instead, she found him standing by the window, staring out at the horizon, his shirt off and his muscular back in full view. He didn't hear her come in, and for a moment, Lena froze. Her eyes traced the lines of his back, and she felt a familiar warmth rise in her chest. She quickly reminded herself that she was here to fix the plumbing, nothing else. Adam, she called softly. He turned around, a half-smile playing on his lips. Lena, didn't hear you come in? His voice was deep and smooth, and the way he said her name sent a shiver down her spine. You mentioned the plumbing. Where is it leaking? She asked, trying to keep her tone professional. Adam moved closer, and Lena felt a flutter of excitement. Unsure whether it was from his proximity or the electricity in the air between them. Right in here, he said, gesturing toward the bathroom door. But honestly, I think it's just the faucet. Doesn't seem too complicated. Lena nodded, trying to stay focused, but her mind was elsewhere. Adam was standing too close now, and there was an undeniable tension in the air, an unspoken invitation. As she walked past him into the bathroom, she could feel his eyes on her, and it made her pulse quicken. She bent down to inspect the faucet, but just as she was about to stand up, she felt his presence behind her. I can't believe how lucky I am to have you as a landlord, Adam said, his voice low, his tone different from anything she'd heard before. I never imagined someone like you would take care of things so well. Lena looked up at him, their faces just inches apart now. His eyes were intense, and she could feel her heart racing. Her usual professionalism started to fade. She was no longer thinking about plumbing or contracts. She was thinking about him. About them, the way his lips curled slightly when he smiled. The way his eyes softened as he looked at her. The way his presence felt like it was filling up the room. Before she could think, her lips met his. The kiss was tentative at first, like two people testing the waters. But then something inside her shifted. All the yearning, all the frustration of the past few years came flooding to the surface. Her hands found their way to his chest, pulling him closer, and he responded in kind, his hands gently pressing against her back. It was slow at first, but the intensity quickly built. The kiss deepened, and Lena could feel the weight of it. This was more than just a moment of passion. It was the release she hadn't known she'd been craving. Adam's hands gently cupped her face, his thumbs brushing over her skin as he pulled away for a moment, their breath shallow. Are you sure about this? He whispered, his voice full of intensity. Lena nodded, her heart pounding. I don't know what's happening, but ... Yes. Yes, I want this. Without another word, they came together again, their kiss filled with longing and unspoken desire. The world outside didn't matter. It was just the two of them caught in the heat of the moment, exploring something neither of them had expected to happen. As the night unfolded, their passion took over. They took their time, savoring each touch, each kiss, rediscovering the deep connection they shared. It was not just about physical attraction. It was about something deeper, something that neither of them had fully realized they'd been searching. For by the time they were lying next to each other, wrapped in each other's arms, Lena felt a sense of peace, something she hadn't felt in a long time. Adam's presence beside her was both comforting and thrilling, and as they lay there, she realized that this connection, this passionate romance, was something she wasn't willing to let go of. The next morning, as the sun streamed through the windows, Lena woke up next to Adam, her body still humming with the memories of the night before. She turned to face him, and he smiled sleepily, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Last night," he murmured, his voice hoarse, "was incredible." Lena smiled, her heart fluttering. "It was everything I didn't know I needed." And in that moment, as they lay there together, Lena realized that sometimes the most unexpected connections were the ones that could change your life forever. What had started as a fleeting attraction had turned into something far deeper. And as she looked at Adam, she knew that this was only the beginning of something truly special. The days following that evening felt like a whirlwind of discovery. For Lena and Adam, they had both been surprised by the intensity of their connection. Yet it felt like something that had been quietly building under the surface for months, waiting for the right moment to emerge. They found themselves spending more time together, not just in passionate encounters, but in quiet, meaningful moments as well. One Saturday afternoon, they decided to take a walk through the nearby park. The weather was perfect, with a warm breeze, rustling the leaves, and the world around them seemed to slow down. As they strolled, side by side, there was an easy comfort between them, like they'd known each other much longer than they actually had. Adam reached for her hand, his fingers intertwining with hers, and Lena smiled, a feeling of happiness settling over her. The weight of the past few days, the intensity of their emotions, and their connection felt lighter now, more balanced. "Have you always been so adventurous?" Lena asked, teasing him lightly as they walked. Adam laughed, the sound warm and easy. "I don't think I was, but with you, ... His voice trailed off, and he gave her a sidelong glance. "I think you bring out the adventurous side of me." Lena felt her heart swell. There was something so genuine in his words, something that went beyond the passion they shared. It was a tenderness, a depth that had been missing in her life for so long. "I think you bring out the best in me too," she said, squeezing his hand gently. "You make me feel like I can be more, like I can truly be myself again." The sincerity in her words seemed to catch him off guard, and for a moment he stopped walking, turning to face her fully. "I want that for you, Lena, to feel like you can truly be yourself. You've got this amazing strength, but I want you to know that with me, you don't have to do it all alone." Lena's heart fluttered in her chest. She'd always prided herself on being independent, on being able to handle everything on her own. But in this moment, with Adam standing before her, she realized that there was something freeing about letting someone in, about allowing them to care for her and share the weight of life's challenges. "You make it easy to let go," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "To let myself be vulnerable." Adam's hand cupped her face gently, his thumb brushing over her cheek. "You don't have to be strong all the time, Lena. It's okay to need someone, and it's okay to let me be there for you." In the quiet of the park, with the sun beginning to set behind them, Lena felt a wave of warmth spread through her. She knew in that moment that this wasn't just about physical attraction or passionate nights. It was about the emotional connection they were building, the trust, the care, the way they were learning to see each other, truly see each other, for who they were. They spent the rest of the day together, talking, laughing, and sharing memories of their lives before they met. It wasn't all perfect. There were still moments of hesitation, moments of uncertainty. But with each passing day, their bond grew stronger, more real. The following week, Lena invited Adam to her apartment for dinner. She had been experimenting with new recipes, trying to cook something special for him. As she set the table, she realized how much this relationship had already changed her. She was no longer just a woman focused on her career or maintaining a perfect routine. She was learning to live in the moments that mattered, to savor the connections that made life worth living. When Adam arrived, she greeted him at the door with a warm hug. His presence was comforting, like an anchor in the midst of everything. They sat down to dinner, and the evening unfolded with the same easy rhythm they had found in the park. They talked about everything and nothing about their childhoods, their dreams, their goals for the future. As they finished their meal, Adam reached across the table and took her hand in his. "You've really made a place for me in your life," he said quietly, looking into her eyes. "And I want to make sure I'm always here for you, in whatever way you need." Lena felt a tear slip down her cheek, moved by the depth of his words. She had spent so many years building walls around herself, convinced that being vulnerable was a weakness. But now with Adam, she was learning that true strength came from allowing herself to love and be loved. "I don't know what's ahead," she said softly, "but I do know that I want to walk this path with you. Whatever happens, I want to be with you." Adam squeezed her hand, his expression tender. "Then that's all that matters, Lena. We'll figure it out together." And in that moment, surrounded by the warmth of their shared love, Lena knew that she had found something beautiful. Not just passion, but a deep, lasting connection that would carry them through whatever the future held. The next few months were filled with more laughter, more passion, and more moments of quiet, intimate connection. They traveled together, rediscovered old hobbies, and supported each other through the ups and downs of everyday life. And through it all, their love continued to grow, becoming the foundation upon which they built their shared future. One evening, as they stood on the balcony of their shared apartment, looking out over the city, Lena turned to Adam with a contented sigh. "You know," she said, her voice full of warmth, "I never imagined that life could be like this, that I could feel so at peace." Adam smiled, pulling her close as they stood there together, taking in the beauty of the night. "I feel the same way. I think we've found something rare, Lena, and it's only just beginning." In that moment, Lena realized that true love wasn't about seeking excitement or waiting for the perfect moment. It was about showing up for each other every day, in the small moments and the big ones. It was about learning to trust, to be vulnerable, and to cherish each other's presence. With Adam by her side, Lena knew that she had found the kind of love she had always been searching for, something deep, something real, something that would last a lifetime. As Lena and Adam continued to navigate life together, the bond between them grew even stronger, more profound. They spent countless evenings in each other's company, cooking dinner, sharing stories of their past, and making plans for their future. Their connection was electric both emotionally and physically, but it was the quiet moments, the small gestures, that made it truly special. One day, as winter approached, Adam surprised Lena with a cozy evening at home. He had planned everything, setting up a fire in the fireplace, buying her favorite wine, and preparing a homemade meal. When Lena arrived, exhausted from a long day at work, she was greeted by the soft glow of the fire and the smell of her favorite dishes wafting through the apartment. "You've outdone yourself," she said, her eyes wide with surprise. "This looks amazing." Adam smiled, a playful glint in his eyes. "I just wanted to show you how much I appreciate you. You've brought so much light into my life, Lena. I want to make sure you know that." Lena's heart fluttered. The sincerity in his words never failed to move her. She had always been independent, never fully understanding the depth of her own needs until Adam entered her life. And now with him, she was learning what it meant to truly be seen, to be cherished, to be loved in a way that was both comforting and exhilarating. As they sat down to eat, the conversation flowed easily. There was no pretense, no walls between them, just two people enjoying each other's company and feeling grateful for the love they had found. They shared their dreams for the future, talking about places they wanted to visit, experiences they wanted to have, and what kind of life they wanted to build together. Later, as they sat by the fire, Lena leaned her head on Adam's shoulder, feeling the warmth of his presence seep into her bones. There was something so peaceful about these quiet moments, something that made her heart swell with love. "I love you, Adam," she whispered. Her voice soft and filled with emotion. Adam kissed the top of her head, his arm tightening around her. "I love you too, Lena. You mean everything to me." The evening stretched on, the fire crackling in the hearth, and the world outside seemed to disappear. In that moment, it was just the two of them, two people, completely in tune with each other, sharing a deep and unwavering connection. It was a love that didn't need to be spoken in grand gestures or loud declarations. It was felt in the small moments, in the way their hands touched, in the way they looked at each other, and it was in the way Adam whispered softly into her ear as they sat there, wrapped in the warmth of the firelight. "Let's make every moment count, Lena. Let's make a life that we're proud of together." The weeks turned into months, and their love continued to deepen. They celebrated holidays together, made new memories, and slowly began to envision a future where they could continue building their lives as a couple. The excitement of their early days together never faded, but it became something even more something. Stable and enduring. One weekend, they decided to take a trip to a small mountain cabin. The scenery was breathtaking snow-capped peaks, fresh mountain air, and a peaceful quiet that felt worlds away from the hustle and bustle of their daily lives. It was a retreat not just for the body, but for the heart. As they hiked through the snow hand in hand, Lena couldn't help but feel the enormity of what they had. It wasn't just about passion anymore, though that spark was still there. It was about being with someone who saw her for who she truly was, someone who accepted her, loved her, and was building a life alongside her. Later that evening, after dinner, they sat in front of the fireplace, the flames casting a soft glow over the room. They spoke about everything, their past, their hopes, their fears, but mostly they talked about the future. "I think about our future a lot," Lena confessed, her voice soft but steady. "About the things we'll do together, the places we'll go, the family we might have. It feels real now, Adam. It feels like we have a future worth building." Adam's eyes softened as he looked at her, his hand gently holding hers. "We do, Lena, and I want to build it with you. There's no one else I'd rather spend my life with." They leaned in then, their lips meeting in a kiss that was tender but filled with meaning. It wasn't just a kiss, it was a promise. A promise to continue growing together, to face whatever challenges came their way, and to always choose each other. That night, as they lay in bed together, their bodies entwined, Lena felt a deep sense of peace. She knew that love, real love, was built on trust, mutual respect, and an unwavering connection. And in Adam's arms, she had found all of that and more. The months that followed only strengthened their bond. They continued to nurture their relationship, making it a priority no matter what life threw their way. They supported each other in every aspect of their lives, whether it was Adam's work challenges or Lena's personal goals. They were there for each other, no questions asked. And one evening, as they sat in their living room, the quiet hum of the city outside, Adam turned to Lena with a smile. "I was thinking," he said, "that maybe it's time we take the next step. We've been building something so beautiful together, and I want to keep building it with you. I'm ready for forever, Lena." Lena's heart fluttered in her chest. She had known for some time now that this was what she wanted, but hearing him say it out loud made everything feel even more real. "Forever," she whispered, a smile tugging at her lips. "I'm ready too, Adam." The love they shared wasn't just about the passion they had for each other, it was about the way they saw each other, the way they understood each other's hearts, and the way they were building something that was truly lasting. As the days turned into years, Lena and Adam's love continued to flourish. They faced challenges, yes, but they always faced them together, side by side. Their love was a steady flame, one that burned brighter with each passing day. And in that love, Lena found everything she had ever wanted: passion, stability, and a connection that would last a lifetime. Together, They had created something beautiful, a life full of love, adventure, and endless possibilities. And as they walked hand in hand into their future, Lena knew that this was just the beginning of their story, a story that would continue to unfold, page by page, with love as its foundation.